Why the hell does a trick of fate about where we are born determine whether we are worthy of being treated like human beings? Number one, my pasty ass ancestors stole this land. And before you come at me with, well, why don't you just leave? I would if I could. But the United States of America excels at keeping its people who are not in the 1% in poverty and debt. So yeah, there's that. Number two, being privileged enough to be born within certain geographical barriers does not mean you are superior to anyone. And number three, being an undocumented immigrant is a civil offense, not a criminal offense. Furthermore, being a documented non-citizen is not the same thing as being an illegal immigrant. Immigrants come here to have a better life. They're seeking asylum. They've got work visas that, yeah, they may have overstayed, but they're on the path to citizenship. And that takes years and thousands of dollars. In fact, you'll probably find that the majority of undocumented immigrants in this country are children and the elderly parents of immigrants that come here for a better life. Are there those that slip through the cracks? Absolutely. But punishing everyone for a few bad apples is how society crumbles. That is not the way we need to do things. But getting back to the fact that most of these documented non-citizen immigrants are working here and paying taxes and do not receive any federal benefits from those taxes because they are not citizens. But do you know what they do benefit from? Constitutional rights. Basic constitutional rights extend to every person within the borders of the United States of America. That includes freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, due process. I've seen comments where people are like, well, they shouldn't be at protests. Why not? They are exercising their freedom of speech and freedom of assembly, especially when it's something that is going to directly impact their lives and livelihoods. But I also think that this is an attempt to shift the narrative to protests are bad, despite the fact that we literally started this country with protests and boycotts. Our entire nation was built on the premise of free speech and assembly in order to hold a corrupt government accountable to the people. They are continually kidnapping people who are going through the citizenship process. You know, the thing that they're supposed to be doing it the right way, they're nabbing them at their immigration hearings. These aren't criminals. These are our neighbors. They are stripping protections that are granted to immigrants, but are allowing asylum to white South African farmers that are simply fleeing a country because they can't be racist out in the open anymore. It is despicable and has nothing to do with safety. It has everything to do with racism, xenophobia, and an unwarranted geographical superiority complex.